Welcome to part 11 to our Galaxy Defiance Space Shooter series using components. In this video, we're going to be creating our title menu and our game over screen. So let's start with the menu. In Godot, let's create a new scene here. In Godot, when you're doing some sort of UI element, you're often going to be using control nodes. You can see here this green node that says user interface. We're going to click on this and we'll set this to just be called menu. And we'll save this. We will create a new folder called menus. We'll save it inside of this folder. Press 2D. Now, UI elements, they have anchors. This is how the element is, controls how the element is scaled as you're scaling your view. By default, you can see that our anchors are set to full rect here, which means they take up the entire screen like this. Now, we're going to add our space background to this. We'll add our space background scene, and that will just allow us to have the space background on the menu as well. Now we want to add a title here and some instructions that say press space to play. And we're going to use a font for that, and we're going to use a label node for that. But we also want it to be centered. Now we could manually center it, but that's going to be a bit of a pain. So we're going to use a node for that. So there's a node called a center container. We can add this node. Now, it's not taking up the full screen, so we want to set its anchors to be full rect as well. So it takes up the full screen just like the menu. Now, inside of this, we can add some labels. We can add a new label. You can see that label is automatically centered now. And we'll call this label title label. We can add the text here that says Galaxy Defiance. Okay. Now, we've created our label, but the font is not a pixel art font. And so we're going to adjust that. Come to our label, and then we're going to create some label settings here. Click on this, do new label settings. And if you click on label settings, this resource, we have a font that we can choose. Let's do our Kenny mini square font like this. And you can see the size by default is set to 16. And I'm fairly certain that that is double pixel sized. So it's the default pixel size would be 8. But that's okay because we're going to save this. So click on this little drop down arrow here and do save. And we'll save this inside of fonts. And we'll save this as title label settings. Okay, we've created this title label settings. We've got Galaxy Defiance. Now we're going to create a new label inside of our. So I want to create a new label inside of our center container here. See, if I do that, it is also centered and it overlaps. So we want to be able to stack these, but we also want them in the center. We'll create our. So how do we do that? How do we stack these while also having them inside of a center container? Well, we're going to have another label here called a VBox container. And this just stacks any nodes, this stacks any control nodes inside of it on top of each other. So it is centered, but we're going to grab both our title label and our label. I'm going to select them both by clicking on one and then holding control and clicking on another. And then I can drag them both into our VBox container. Now what happens is we have a centered VBox container, and that VBox container stacks the two labels inside of it. So this is starting to show some of the power of Godot's control nodes, and these in particular are called container nodes. And container nodes, they manipulate the position of their children. So if we were to try and move this label, we can't actually move it because its position is determined by its parent, which is a container. So keep that in mind. We're using containers to position these nodes. We have the center container that centers the VBox container, and then the VBox container vertically stacks each node inside of it. So this label right here will be called start label, and we're going to create a new label for it as well. We'll drag our Kenny font over, and then we'll set this to 8 instead of 16. And we'll also save this one, and it can just be called default label settings. Like that. Okay, so we have default label settings and title label settings. We're using those later. Now we're going to put press space to play inside of this label. Now, the font isn't centered here, but we can easily adjust this inside of our label settings. Well, I guess the properties for our start label. You can see horizontal alignment here. We can just set that to center. And we might do that with the title label as well. Horizontal alignment, center. It doesn't look like it affects it at all, but we'll just do. Okay. Now, currently, the main scene for our game is actually just the game itself, our world scene. So we want our menu to be the main scene. If we come over here to menu, we can right-click on menu.tscn, and then we can do set as main scene right here. And now when we run the game, it will run the menu scene like that. Okay? Easy enough. Let's add a script to our menu. And inside this script, all we're going to do is say if input.is action just pressed. Now this is how you can get input. And we'll use UI accept, which is the space key. Now we need to change to our world scene. So get tree.change scene to file. And then we can start typing world. Oops. Okay, let's do quotes and start typing world, and then we can get world.tscn. Now this will allow us to change to the world scene when the space key is pressed. So if we run the game, we can press space, and it switches to our world scene, where we can actually fight the enemies. Perfect. Now let's create our game over screen. We're going to do something very similar to what we did here. We're going to create a new scene. Do a user interface. We'll call it game over. We'll save it inside of menus. This. And inside of here, we'll also add our space background scene. We've got the background for our game over screen. We'll also add a center container. And we'll make sure to set its anchors to full rec so it takes up the whole screen. And we'll also do a VBox container inside of here because we want to be able to stack some stuff in here. Now we'll add a label, and we'll call this label game over label. And then we'll add another label. And we'll call this menu label. Like this. And for here, we'll say game over. Here, we'll say press space to return. And then I'm going to hit enter to the start menu. Now our fonts here aren't working very well. So let's go to our game over label, and we'll drag over the title label settings. We can just drag them from our files into here. We'll set the horizontal alignment to center. Now we'll click our menu label, and we'll drag over the default label settings. And then we'll also set it to center. Now we have a game over screen that says press space to return to the start menu. Let's add a script to this. And inside of this script, we will have a very similar code to what we had before in our menu. In fact, let's just copy it. Come back to game over, paste it here. But instead of going to world scene, we're going to go to our menu scene. So menus/menu, like that. Save. And we can run this scene only by pressing run current scene up here. And we can test to make sure that space does return us to main screen. We can enter the game. Now we want to have a way for our character to die. So we'll come into our ship. And let's see. Can the ship die? Did we set this up yet? Oh yeah, the ship can die because we have the destroyed component that destroys the ship. So we want to be able to detect when the ship has died. There's several ways that we can do this. But what I'm going to do is come into the world scene and give our world a script actually here. And get access to the ship in our world scene. So we can just drag over here, hold control and drop it. Now we've got access to our ship. And inside of the ready function on our world scene, we can do ship.tree exiting. So this is a signal on all nodes. If we click on our ship node here, you can see there is a tree exiting signal. So this just means this signal fires when the ship is being destroyed, when it's exiting the tree. And so we can connect to this. So connect. And we can connect to just an anonymous function right here. So we'll just run a function here when the ship is exiting the tree. And what we want to do is we want to wait for a little bit of time so that we don't switch scenes right away. So we can do this using the await keyword here, and this will await on a signal or a function. And we're going to, in particular, wait on a signal. So we can say get tree.create timer, and then we'll pass in 1 second to this timer, and then we'll await on the timeout signal. So what this does is this is a shortcut for creating a timer very quickly inside of code, setting the time for it, and this timer will automatically start, and then we can await on that timer's timeout. It's kind of a shorthand. We don't have to add a timer to our scene and start it and wait on timeout. We can just use this shortcut to be able to do that. And then what we'll do is get tree.change scene to file, and we're going to change to game over. Just like that. Now what happens is when the ship is exiting the tree, we'll wait for 1 second and then go to the game over screen. So let's see if this works. We're on our start menu, press space. Here's our ship. We can fire off into space. And then if we get hit, it will wait a second and then go to game over and come back to the start menu and try again. So we have the basic game loop set up. That's going to be it for this video. In the next one, we'll be adding the score and high score so we can start to keep track of how well the player is doing. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to check out my the link in the description for my Godot courses. These videos, these free tutorial series are made possible by the people who purchase my courses. If you're interested, there'll be a link in the description. I hope you loved this video. If you did, be sure to subscribe and like it, and I will see you all in the next one.